Your hair is so long, you need to cut it now before electric forest so you can get the sales. That's actually something that my dad said to me before we went to Electric Forest. This is the story of how I took my immigrant parents to Electric Forest. We had overcome some generational traumas together. We were able to stall my mom's doom scrolling addiction and create lasting memories for people wanting to quit vaping or those considering it. If we haven't met already, my name is Brendan Wong. I'm the inventor of CAPNOS flavored pressurized air inhalers that help mimic that throat hit, but with zero smoke, zero nicotine, and zero battery. There's no heat, it's just flavored with natural extracts in these cotton wicks for that flavor aroma. I thought to myself, where else would be a better place to vend than at Electric Forest? My parents are hard workers. I'm often reminded of their sacrifices and struggles to get to where they are today and what they've done to help me live the life that I have now. However, there's a certain boomer immigrant mindset that just makes healing sometimes very difficult. I believe that anything is possible with perseverance and the will to improve. It's really important to remember that change sometimes may never happen, but it's in those moments where there's those reminders that are saying, hey, this is why you've set out to heal. This is why you work so hard and doing what you can to improve the quality of your own livelihood and that of others. You know what that takes? Patience. The week before Electric Forest was going to start, I got a text from two of my friends that both said they were not able to attend anymore. They were gonna help me out. So now I'm thinking, crap, what do I do? Who can I ask? Well, I have my parents. I'm living in Michigan. They're 40-minute drive away. They could help out. They're retired. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? The thing is, my mom, I'm a little apprehensive about. I asked my dad to help me out first because now I have 2 extra spots. I'm saying, hey Dad, I could really use your help. I think you could really do it with me. He did suggest my mom, but then the two of us were both like, maybe that's not the best idea. I then talked to my mom and she said, look, I'm willing to just be in the background, be out of the picture, and just exist there. I said, well, what's the point of coming? Like, you might as well just stay at home at this point. After a few days, I did start to feel a little bit bad. I'm thinking, well, if my mom was at home by herself and my dad and I are off doing this crazy new thing, she might feel a little bit FOMO. So I said, let's change that. How is my mom going to act? She now has this very predictable behavior and response system to where I know exactly how she'll react to a certain prompt, but now I'm thinking, oh, what if she says something aversive to someone? Or what if she rubs someone the wrong way? What if she ruins the vibe? It was a risk I was willing to take with her. At this point, I was looking at it from a lens of saying, well, what else is there to lose? I also realized the extra hand was going to be helpful, so she joined us and was hopping right on board. Here's where the action begins. The crazy thing is, during all this, I was actually getting ready for a move to San Diego out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. I can share a bit more about my travels in a later video, but the gist of it is that I was feeling stifled in the area, and I knew that I needed to go move out west and be where bigger things are happening. I want to shout out Brooke of Boom Boom Nasal Sticks for sharing so many helpful tips and recommendations, because there were actually a lot of little tidbits you would never know about things to pack or things you'd need to vend at a music festival without hearing it from someone who's done it first. All right, it's day 0. It's June 18th. My parents and I finally arrived to our campsite early in the afternoon. It's rainy, it's muddy, and we're thinking, how are we going to get this U-Haul in place to start unloading all our stuff into where we need it to go? Well, I had a huge crash out. My dad was saying, you got to drive the car into this thing. And I'm like, well, if we're inside the tent, how are we going to unload anything into it? Help me make that make sense, because the math is not mathing. Anyway, after a while of going back and forth, I was realizing, look, I'm just trying to appease my dad, and we're hungry, we're tired, it's a lot going on. So I just decided, let me just do what I know works. Put it in motion, reversed that U-Haul right back up into that spot, going up that slippery, muddy slope. But eventually, we were able to get things together. So with that, we were able to set up our camp and finally start to unload the little things into making our camp a cozy home for the next few days. So what happened during the 4 days? Well, on the first day, June 19th, it was a Thursday. It started off pretty rainy, but we start to see the first impression of what the crowds would be like. During day 2, we doubled our sales to over $1,200 by the end of the day. We had some big rollers come through. This one guy, he tried out Ligura and then bought 2 Liguras and 2 Breezes right on the spot. I was like, okay, get it. The ball was rolling and we were just having a great time. It's day 2, the energy is high, and we're like, let's get this thing going. We're getting into the swing of things, and with that, we were able to have a good shift schedule up. I was there from the start at 2 p.m. all the way till 2 a.m. pretty much every night, with the exception to go on some breaks and see a few sets in between. But it was generally the case that my dad was, or my mom, she would be there sitting next to me. She would help sanitize the caps and conversate with people there. And also my parents were able to get 1 sale each. That was a pretty big deal. I was also really excited because they got to be 4th row from Mike Posner and from the string cheese incident that Saturday night when they went to go see their big shebang that happens every single year. I got to see Mike's full set too, and it was awesome. My parents' smiles were ear to ear at this point, and it was actually so healing to see. Like, I'm thinking to myself, wow, we're able to actually make this happen. And it's not even just my parents, too. It's the people who are coming by, who are trying out zeroing, who are able to come back and share their stories, too. It was so impactful because now, by the 4th day, we had people coming back to the booth, sharing their stories of having gone completely vape-free during the whole day. We've seen people wearing their Liguras on their lanyards and their breezies, hitting them as they walk by. We set out a chill station for people to come lay out front, to snooze, to relax, to rest, to recharge. And it was just such an amazing opportunity to be able to be in that kind of space. It was really healing for my parents too, and it was during this time that we were just having fun being present. We were having fun just by watching the crowds pass by. We were having fun just by sitting and being, which is practically unheard of in our family. There were people who prayed that we would stay open the rest of the night, and we did just that. They came by, bought more products for their siblings, for other people, and it was just them sharing those moments that reminded me this is exactly why we do what we do. In conclusion, we didn't quite hit the sales goal that we set out to achieve to start with, but there were so many moments that let me know that this was all worth it. Being here only reaffirms my mission and why we do what we're doing at CAPNOS to help 1 million people quit vaping by the end of 2027. We finished off with a meal going out to eat Chinese buffet in Muskegon, Michigan afterward. I asked my parents, what were your takeaways? What did you think of this? And do you see yourself with a different perspective on life? Well, they really enjoyed seeing the youth and the energy of being around different people. They really enjoyed seeing the self-expression people had and were really into it. The sad thing is, as soon as we got back home, my mom went right back into her habitual patterns. Those can be really hard to break. From that point on, I spent 3 days packing and repacking, unpacking, moving things around from one apartment to home to wherever. And my dad drove with me for 3 consecutive days from Michigan to California. We stopped by Bryce Canyon National Park on our way. And once we settled in here, my dad was also just grinning from ear to ear, seeing the beauty of life out here. And it allows me to sit back, be in this hammock, and share my story with you here today. Just remember that at the end of the day, it's all worth it. Like, it's these moments of joy that we get to experience that makes life have purpose, have meaning. Look, I'm still growing my hair out. I'm not cutting it. anytime soon. So I'm gonna see if I can get it back here someday. But with that, I'll still be out here. I'm still going to test more vendor opportunities, and I still want to be out with the people. I want to be in places where I get to connect with those who are struggling with coping mechanisms, with cravings, and are just looking for a better way to substitute or swap it out with an alternative. I'll keep sharing more of my journey with you online from here, there, and everywhere. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on what I shared about. What did you enjoy hearing? What do you want to hear more about? With that, stay tuned. See you in the next video.